Imagine you have a credit card with a limit of $5,000. One day you spend $2,000 on furniture. You already have enough cash saved, so you are not worried. When the bill arrives, you quickly pay everything in full, feeling proud of your financial discipline and smart money habits. But then something strange happens. A few days later, your phone sends you a notification. Your credit score has dropped. You feel confused and maybe even angry. How can your score fall when you paid everything on time? This situation surprises many people, and it happens more often than you think. Here's the shocking part. You did nothing wrong. You followed all the basic rules. You avoided interest, paid on time, and stayed responsible. Yet the system still reduced your score. So what exactly went wrong? The answer lies in something most people never pay attention to, which is timing. Today, you will learn how the credit system actually works behind the scenes. You will understand why moving your payment just a few days earlier can completely change your score. This is not about working harder or earning more money. It's about understanding the system and using it wisely. Let's start with a common belief. Most people think the due date is the most important date for their credit card. And yes, it matters because it helps you avoid late fees and interest. But here's the truth most people miss. The due date is not what controls your credit score. Now think about this. You might believe that credit bureaus are watching your account every single day. You may assume that once you pay your balance, your credit instantly improves. But that's not how the system works. It doesn't track your money in real time like a live video. Instead, the system works like a camera. It takes a snapshot of your balance at a specific moment. That one moment becomes your record for the entire month. And here's the problem. That snapshot often happens before you make your payment, not after. Let's break it down with a simple example. Your credit card cycle runs from the first day of the month to the 30th. During this time, you use your card for food, fuel, and daily needs. Your balance slowly increases as you spend throughout the month. Then comes a very important day called the statement closing date. On this day, the bank creates your bill. The balance shown on that statement is what gets reported to the credit bureaus. This is the number that affects your credit score, not your payment later. Here's where things get tricky. Your payment due date usually comes weeks after the statement closes, so even if you pay everything before the due date, the system has already recorded your higher balance. This creates a gap between what you feel and what the system sees. You feel responsible because you paid your bill, but the system sees a high balance and thinks you are using too much credit. This mismatch can be frustrating. Many people even avoid using their credit cards because they're afraid their score will drop again. But here's the part most people miss. The system is not trying to punish you. It's simply slow. It reports past data, not current reality. You're living in real time, but your credit score is based on old information captured earlier in the month. So what can you do about this? The answer is simple but powerful. You need to control when your balance gets recorded. Instead of waiting for the bill, you should make a payment before the statement closing date. This small change can make a huge difference. Let's say your balance is $1,000 a few days before the statement closes. If you pay $990 early, your statement will only show $10. That $10 is what gets reported, making your usage look extremely low. Now think about this. Would it matter if your balance shows $1,000 or just $10? Many people think the difference is small, but in reality, it can significantly affect your score. The system reacts strongly to how much credit you are using. Credit utilization is one of the biggest factors in your score. It simply means how much of your credit limit you are using. For example, if your limit is $1,000 and you owe $500, your utilization is 50%. That's considered high. The system prefers lower numbers. Generally, staying below 30% is good. Staying below 10% is even better. But once you cross certain levels, your score can fall quickly. This is why timing your payment becomes so important. Here's something surprising. Even one card with high usage can hurt your score. You might have multiple cards with low balances, but if one card is maxed out, it sends a negative signal. The system sees that as a possible financial risk. This is what some people call the danger zone. Your score can drop suddenly even if you did nothing wrong. Many people panic when this happens because they don't understand the reason behind it, but it's simply the math of utilization at work. The good news is that this effect is temporary. Unlike missed payments, which stay on your record for years, utilization resets quickly. Once your balance drops and a new statement is reported, your score can recover almost immediately. But here's another twist. You might think having a zero balance is perfect. After all, zero means no debt, right? Surprisingly, the system doesn't always see it that way. Reporting zero every time can actually lower your score slightly. Why does this happen? Because the system wants to see activity. It wants proof that you can use credit and manage it well. If you always show zero, it looks like you are not using your credit at all. That gives the system less information about you. So what's the best strategy? Aim for a small balance, something very low, like 1% of your limit. This shows that you are using your credit but keeping it under control. It creates a positive signal for the scoring system. There's a popular method called all zero except one. This means you keep all your cards at zero except one card with a small balance. This approach helps you get the best possible score while still avoiding interest. Now, you might be wondering, will leaving a balance cost you money? The answer is no, as long as you pay it before the due date. Reporting a balance is not the same as carrying a balance. Timing is what makes the difference. Let's make it simple. Your statement shows $10. That gets reported. Then, before the due date, you pay that $10. You pay no interest, but your credit report shows activity. This is how you balance both benefits. If you want to apply for a loan soon, this strategy becomes even more important. A small adjustment can give you extra points on your score, and sometimes those extra points can mean better loan terms or lower interest rates. But if you're not applying for anything soon, don't stress too much. Just keep your usage low. Staying under 10% is already a strong position. The advanced strategies are mainly for fine-tuning your score when needed. Here's where many people make a mistake. They rely only on automatic payments. While autopay is great for avoiding late fees, it doesn't help optimize your score. It usually pays after the statement is already created. To take control, you need to know your statement closing date. This is not always easy to find, but it's usually listed in your past statements. Once you know it, you can plan your payments more effectively. Set a reminder a few days before that date. This gives you time to make a payment that will reflect on your statement. Even a small adjustment during this window can change what gets reported. When your reminder comes, check your balance. Then decide how much to pay. If your balance is high, reduce it to a very small amount. This ensures your reported utilization stays low. After the statement is generated, check it again. Make sure it shows the small balance you intended. Then simply pay that amount before the due date. This completes the process without any extra cost. But here's something important to avoid. Do not keep paying your card multiple times just to keep spending more. This is called credit cycling, and it can raise red flags with your bank. Banks expect your spending to stay within your credit limit each month. If you keep spending, paying, and spending again, it may look suspicious. In some cases, your account could be reviewed or even closed. If you find yourself hitting your limit often, the better solution is to request a higher limit. A higher limit naturally lowers your utilization, making it easier to maintain a good score without constant adjustments. For example, spending $2,000 on a $5,000 limit is 40%, but on a $20,000 limit, it is only 10%. Same spending, very different impact. Now think about the future. Some newer scoring models are becoming more advanced. They look at trends over time, not just a single snapshot. This means they can see your habits, not just one moment. However, most lenders still use older models. These models focus mainly on the snapshot method. So for now, timing your payments still works very effectively. Another common mistake is closing old credit cards. People do this to simplify their finances, but closing a card reduces your total available credit, which can increase your utilization percentage instantly. Instead, keep old cards open. You can put a small recurring charge on them and set it to autopay.
This keeps the account active and helps your overall credit profile. Let's recap everything in a simple way. First, understand that the statement date matters more than the due date for your score. Second, keep your utilization low. Third, make a payment before the statement closes. Fourth, leave a small balance if you want the best results. Fifth, pay that balance before the due date to avoid interest. By following these steps, you take control of how your credit is reported. You stop reacting to the system and start managing it actively. Now, think about this. Most people never learn these details. They follow basic rules but miss the deeper strategy. That is why small changes like this can give you a big advantage. You do not need to earn more money to improve your score. You just need to understand timing and behavior. This knowledge can save you money and open better financial opportunities. Try this method for 1 month. Pick one card and test it. Adjust your payment timing and watch what happens to your score. When you see the results, you'll understand how powerful this strategy is. It's not about tricks, it's about understanding how the system works. Over time, you'll feel more confident using your credit. You'll stop fearing score drops and start using your cards wisely. This is how you move from confusion to control, from reacting to planning, from guessing to knowing. And that's the real goal, not just a higher score, but a smarter approach to money that works for you every single month.